What's up, y'all? Hope all is well with y'all today. Y'all, we already talk about the game of life, as y'all can see, because we need to understand that we're literally playing the game of life. We're literally playing the game of life. And I don't know about y'all, but I play the game to win, I'm not losing. Like Lil Baby said. I'm playing the game to win, I'm not losing. And we need to understand that God is the creator of this game. This is his creation. He created the game. He created all the players. He created all the strategies. He created everything about it. And if you want to win the game of life, who better to have on your side than a mentor, which is your father who is in heaven, who is also the creator of this said game, who will give you the game when you build that relationship and build that trust. Who better to have on your team than the creator of the game, who gonna give you all the plays, who gonna give you the secrets on how to win? Who better to have on your team than him? And this is what we need to understand. Life is literally a game. And it's so funny because I told y'all that in the other video. I was like, I don't know which video it was, but one of these ones this week. And I was like, life is really a game because I sit and talk to myself all the time. Like I'm always talking to myself, talking to God. I just be in here talking because my mind, I just think a lot. I'm always thinking, analyzing. And I'm a problem solver. I love to solve problems. I love to dig deep into things. That's just what I like to do. So I'm just sitting up there thinking, I'm like, hold up. I'm like, life really is a game. And I'm like, because I was in here, popping my itch, like I'm undefeated. You can't, there's nothing that's going to happen that's going to make me feel defeated in life. And this is what I want y'all to understand. You cannot feel defeated. I don't care what happens to you. You can't feel defeated. You can feel sad and hurt and mad and, all of that. That's natural emotions to have. But you don't let that hinder you because that thing happened to you. Now you let that stop you. You let that keep you in a victim state. You let that keep you in a victim mentality, stuck in the past, stuck on and have a pessimistic mindset, pessimistic view of things. You don't see light at the end of the tunnel. You don't see what's on the other side of that hurdle. You don't understand obstructions are necessary in life to teach you. And so I was just thinking, I'm like, whoa, life really is a game. It's a board game. And one thing I'm going to order that game because I was just reading. I'm like, I was like, let me read this. Let me read about the game because I never played, but I know I used to see it at the store and stuff, in the game aisle. And now I want to get it. That and Monopoly is two games that I think that every family should play. It says it's for ages 9 and older because I want to play it with my daughter because I'm about growing. I'm about elevating, and I want to teach my children the game. That's my favorite part of being a mother. I love being a mother because I get to teach my children. I get to show them the way. They don't have to figure out everything like I had to. I'm going to give them the game. Period. Give them straight game. They ain't gonna have to figure out nothing because they're gonna have heard everything from mama first. Everything from me first. The good, the bad, the ugly. They're going to hear it from me first. Not letting nobody else tell my children anything else. Because if they tell it to them, they're going to tell it to them in a way that don't serve their best interest. I'm going to give them straight, pure facts. And so even if you see how the structure is set up in the game, because I'm just reading like what the game is about. And it really just it makes things it gives understanding to the game we really playing of life, because the same things that they make you do in the game of life is the same thing we're doing. You either choose to go to college or get a career. You get married, you have babies. Sometimes you have twins. You get loans. All the stuff in the game, and then it ends up at retirement. That's the end of the game, retiring, and then depend on where you are at when you retire. And this is one thing I want to say. You don't want to, this is why you stop living life like you might die tomorrow and you don't care because you're going to die tomorrow anyway. Because you want to set yourself up to win. And even if you don't get to enjoy all the fruits from your labor, your children will, and your children's children will. And this is the importance of teaching them, because it doesn't make sense to leave them money, leave them houses, and they don't understand what to do with it. They don't have the mindset to handle it. Everything is about mindset. And until you change your mind, your life will never elevate. Your circumstances will never change because of your mind, the way you think. You have to train your mind first. You have to train your mind. You have to have an optimistic mind, not a pessimistic mind. You have to know how to take risks, and you got to know that you're going to take L's in the process of taking certain risks, but that don't mean that you just fold and you just crumble and you just stay stuck. You don't just stay stuck. So I think that if you play that game, y'all need to get the Game of Life and get Monopoly. And we had got Monopoly as a gift last year. But of course my kids, and they lost all the pieces and stuff. So I'm gonna get it again. And this time I'm gonna hold on to it because I want to play that game, both of these, because it's some depth to the games. And when your spiritual eyes open, you're gonna realize that so many of the answers to the questions, concerns, and problems that you have, or things that you have wondered about, it's all been right in your face the whole time. A lot of it is right in our face. One thing about it, even when it comes to this demonic stuff and with the kingdom of darkness, because ultimately, the game that God has created for us, the game of life, the players in the game, the two different teams, the two different forces, is the kingdom of darkness, the kingdom of heaven. We're fighting against one another. And it's levels to it. It's levels to it. And as long as you have God on your side, as long as you know him, know his word, have understanding, because he gives understanding, he gives wisdom, he gives knowledge. The people perish for a lack of knowledge, because if we had more knowledge, and it ain't about knowledge just in degrees and education on everything, education about money, education about the spiritual realm, understanding about the spiritual forces, because we don't understand that it's like I always say, the battle is not against flesh and blood. It's against spiritual wickedness in high places. So we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of the darkness, against spiritual wickedness in higher places. It is spiritual wickedness. This is why some things that happen in our life, some things that's just out of your control. You control what you can and what you can't. You leave that in God's hands because you understand that it's a spiritual force that's working behind that thing. And every time you take an L, because even in this game on here, it's a card that says midlife crisis and fire. You're fired. Like, that's why I say play this game, because in life you got to know how to pivot. But like I said the other day in that video, we think that there's not supposed to be no change in life. We think that everything is supposed to be the same. We think that we're supposed to be with one person for the rest of our life. We think that stuff is just supposed to never change. And then when stuff happens, when these obstructions get thrown in the way, we don't know how to overcome it. We succumb to that obstruction. We let that little roadblock deter us from everything. It's an obstacle course. This game of life is an obstacle course. You keep your mind on the finish line. You keep your mind on the finish line. So no matter how many midlife crises come in, no matter how many times you get fired, no matter how many L's you take, you don't just stop there. If all these roadblocks getting thrown in your way, you just deal with each one as they come. And you're going to either jump over it, move around it, or you're going to obliterate it. You're going to bomb it, destroy it, get it up out of there. You're going to completely figure out how to get this problem out of there so you can move on to the next thing. You're going to keep on your road, but then something else is going to come in. And each obstruction is to teach you a lesson in life. You don't let these obstructions that fall in your path deter you and stop you and keep you here on level 1. This is really a game. You got to really think of life as a game, like these video games. It's levels to every video game. What you did on level 1 is not what you're going to do on level 10. But on level 10, you're still going to need to know what you learned on level 1. You still going to have to understand those principles. You're adding to each one. But when you do level 1, I don't care what game it is. Some games, there are literal ops in the game. You really got people that's sitting there waiting to unalive you. You got some games where there's literal obstructions in the way, and if you don't stay on your straight and narrow path, or if something gets thrown in your narrow path, like that little game that's on my daughter's iPad, and I kept losing it yesterday. I don't really play games, but my little baby was playing the game. Well, she don't really know what she's doing, but I was trying to help her with it because she just be on there and keep dying. The little thing keep dying, but because you get the gold, but it was an obstruction in a way. You're supposed to turn that way because if you don't, you're gonna crash right after you get the gold. You gotta just keep maneuvering. So you gotta be able to move the little thing around, jump over because the trucks was coming. You gotta jump up. This is literally how life is. But the goal is to get through that level. You get through each level. You can't try to skip levels. You take it one step at a time. One step at a time. And you learn the lesson. So if you plan a game, so now when you lose, I know now that, okay, instead of just walking right into that ditch, I know that hole is there. I can see now what a ditch looks like. I got to either jump up over it or move around it. When this truck is coming head on to me, I got to jump up faster. You know, it just, you learn what you need to do for that obstacle because it's going to present itself again. And this time it might be bigger. It might be double. So now you need to know how to jump over it. You need to know how to fight against it. You don't just succumb to it and be like, oh, I'll just crash. All right, and then I just give up. Nah. Look at some of your kids. When some of y'all kids is playing these video games, see what's going on in the game. It's so deep that it's really games out here about the spiritual realm. Because as I be looking at, because I be studying this stuff, like demonology and stuff, I be studying it. And it's a game, it's a website up here. I forget what it's called, but it's an actual video game. And it's like, it gives, I guess, instruction and details about the players. And these players are actually Satan and his demon seeds and Lucifer and all of them that came after Lucifer and all of this stuff. And it just be like, wow. Like it really is a game. And this is why I also want to say the importance of having God in your life. Because like I said, he's the creator of this game. And if you read his word, this is your basic instruction before leaving earth. Bible stands for the abbreviation for basic instruction before leaving earth. I don't know if it means if it's abbreviation, but y'all know how like it be meaning something. Like the different Bible, B for Bible, I for instructions, y'all know, basic, B for basic, I for instructions, B before, life, L for life, L for leaving, E for earth. Basic instructions before leaving earth. And as I'm reading this, I'm like, the game, it's here. It's like, if you was given a manual, if you was given the answer key on how to pass a test, would you not want the answer key? Would you not want the answer key? So it can be easier for you to pass it. That's just like when I was in college. I had this one professor. He was an African teacher. African professor. He taught algebra or something like that, man. And sometimes I didn't understand what was going on. He didn't talk good English, but he made it so easy to pass his class because if you simply just come to class and write down everything that he's writing on the board, if you write down everything he's writing on the board, you get to take, when you take the test, when we have our test, it's open book test. So if you came to every class and just sat there and copied everything down that he wrote verbatim. And when I tell you, he would really put the same problem on the test that was on every time we come to class. If you have all your notes And he let us take our test with open notes. So you can literally get an A on the test if you took all your notes. If you came to every class, and even if you missed class, you better have somebody that you cool with in the class that be coming and got the note. You're gonna, because I didn't know, most of us, we don't know that dang on algebra stuff. Like those type algebraic expressions is harder than my regular ones that I like, because I like I like X equations and stuff. I like algebraic expressions, especially with like orders of operation or figuring out what X is. But it gets deeper into the X's and Y's and divided by XY and all of that. But when you come to class, you automatically write the stuff down. You automatically have the answers to the test. So I used to pass all the tests because I just come to class, sit there, write down everything he writing on the board. Everything he write down on the board. I'm writing that stuff on my notes, and I just keep hold of my notes. So down when it's on test day, I got all the problems. I'm like, dang, it's the same thing from here. Like, it really is the same thing. So if you got the answer key in life, why would you not want to? Or if you can read this and have the answer key, even like now, what's going on with this war? You don't. This is why I say too, understand that you're going to have different battles. Like these obstructions that get in the way, it's just a different battle. You get through one, it's going to be another one. It's going to be another one until you check out the game, which is once you die. So you're always going to have something coming up. Until you check out of earth, it's going to be something, and it's going to be something, and it's going to be something, and it's going to be something. And as long as you have God by your side, baby, you're going to be able to get through each and every one of those. And as long as you learn your lessons from the previous time, because oftentimes things present itself again to us because we haven't learned the lesson from the last time. And you must learn the lesson. You must break the cycle. It's going to keep going and going and going until you break it. You got to break it off. And until you don't, you're going to keep repeating it. And it may manifest into a different way and keep on going. But you must learn it. And as long as you have God in your life, you're going to have the game, because he's going to give you the secrets on how to maneuver through it, or how to jump over that hurdle, and how to win that battle. Just like they fighting now, the war. Each war that has ever went on, it's different battles. Okay, this battle here, they fighting again. That battle there until they win the war. Whoever won the most battles in the fight, in the long-term fight, whoever won each individual, you win the war. You win the war when you got the most wins. In any game, in the game of basketball, in the game of everything is about two opposing sides. Look around. Y'all watch football all the time. Well, I don't know if y'all watch it, because a lot of y'all ladies, but some ladies do watch football or whatever sports. And it's two teams working against each other. Two teams. The one that got the most scores, the most touchdowns, the most points on the scoreboard, they're the one who win the game. So you might have during this time, you might have won. You got a touchdown. And even with like the Super Bowl, okay, different teams that took different losses, but who got the most wins? And the teams who got the most wins, y'all go up against each other. Or however it work with that. But just think about any game. It's two opposing sides. And you keep going. You don't let that one L, just because one team took an L this game, does that mean the next time they play, because oftentimes they might play like twice in a season, or does that mean that they're going to lose both times? And does that mean that they're going to let that loss that they took against them last time defeat them the next time? No, what they're going to do is analyze, okay, pay attention to what their plays were, what our plays were, what they good at, find out their strengths and their weaknesses, find out our strengths and our weaknesses, and see how we can overcome them the next time. Because now we got to study how they move. When you study how your opponents move, you get to be like, I seen that trick before. I seen that deception before. All right, I know how to move around that. I know how to deal with it. So you gotta pay attention. You want to pay attention, and you want to learn from the last time. But even like with this war that they got going on, as I'm reading this, I'm like, the answers to what they going through in this Russia-Ukraine war and everything that's coming to us, because after Russia and Ukraine is done, or even maybe midway while they in a battle, it's coming to America. It's coming. We're going into World War III very soon. very soon. And as I was reading yesterday, that's why for me, when I'm reading, it's like present day, which is how I know that this is real. It's just new characters in the game. The game is still the same. Everything in here, the game is still the same. This is why if you read the Bible, you realize a lot of stuff is repetitive. It becomes very repetitive, just different players. Many people have done the same thing, just different players, different characters. And that's what we need to understand. The game of life, it's just different characters in the game. Different characters come into play. The game's still the same. The game don't change, the players do. And that's just how it is with anything, whether it's in the streets, whether it's in the corporate world, whether it's in whatever. The game stays the same. The players change. And each of the players got to know how to beat the game. They got to know how to maneuver in it. It's been the same for decades, centuries, jubilees. It's been the same, but the players change. So each player got to have, and this is where it comes into play with taking wise counsel and having true wisdom. And sometimes wisdom comes from learning from other people's mistakes so that you don't have to repeat the same thing. Because if you learn from them, if you got the blueprint, that's what I always tell you about my Bible studies. If we read this and see what they went through and how they either made God angry or made him mad, and then destruction was brought upon you, or you was blessed, whichever side of the fence is on. If we learn from these people, we will learn how to please God, how to continue to get our blessings, how to avoid falling into these same pits that's sent from the enemy. We will learn. But because we so prideful and everybody has these egos, and we think that we're much different than everybody else, and that we just not ever, it can never be me until it's you. And when you think like that and you be like, you don't learn from another person's failures, granted, everything is not going to happen exactly the same way for everybody, but oftentimes it be happening the same way. Not at the same time, but it be happening. Because it's this other girl, I'm like, dang, she going through, stuff that I didn't already overcame. I see other people now going through it. And things that other people have overcame, I'm now going through it. You know what I'm saying? So, well, if we learn from our elders, if we learn from their mistakes, if we learn from things that work for them, we would too have a better blueprint, and we too will be able to avoid certain hurdles that keep setting us back. We could avoid certain setbacks if we learn from other people. That's what true wisdom is, learning from somebody else's experiences. You don't even have to go through it to have to learn from your own experience. But we're hard-headed, and we like to just have our stiff necks. We like to walk around with our stiff necks, head up, like looking down at everybody else. Oh, you did that? Oh, you went through that? Oh, it can never be me. Oh, it can never be me until it's you. Because you're so naive, you're so ignorant to think that it can't be you. And when you move around like that, God gonna definitely make sure. Let me humble this. Let me humble you right quick. What? You said what again? Oh yeah. But it's all in how you handle things. Life gonna happen to you. You don't get defeated easily. You fight back. You fight back, period. You don't just succumb to the injuries. You don't let it just take over you. You got to fight back. And if you be obedient to God and listen to what he's telling you and listen to your convictions, things will be much easier. It ain't to say that it's going to be easy, but you'll get through it easier. You'll understand that this is just a part of it. And some stuff you just got to charge to the game. It's a part of the game. And players mess up too. You might think even when you think you got it all figured out, because you really never don't, because God will never want you to have it all figured out, because if you got it all figured out, then you ain't going to need him. You're not going to have to call on him. That's why he allows a lot of stuff to happen to us Especially when we stop putting him first, and he's a jealous God. He don't want nobody before him. Nobody is to come before him. So when we start putting other people before him, when we start thinking that, all right, I don't see you later next time, God. I got it now. I got this. I don't need you no more. He'd be like, well, you never stop needing me. You never stop needing me. And when you think you don't need him, he's going to allow things to happen to you so that you can come running, crying back to him. That's what he's going to do. But some stuff you just learn, you got to charge stuff to the game. Players mess up too. Because we don't know everything. We don't got to figure it out. Players mess up too. So when you do take an L, don't be embarrassed. Don't be ashamed. Just be like, okay, look. They act like I can't take an L. Dang, I know I be winning a lot. I know a lot, but I don't know everything. So when I take an L, you just happy to see that I took an L because I do so much winning. On the surface, it looked like I do so much winning. It looked like I handle things so well. Just because I handle things so well don't mean I don't go through things. So when I'm going through it, you like, or if I make it known to you that I'm going through it, you finally get a chance to be like, key. But baby, it's a small thing to a giant, baby. Fought tough out here. We fought tough. We know we're going to handle stuff. And we're going to stomp right on that little serpent and keep it moving. Get out my way. Get out my way. Small thing to a giant. And especially when you a chosen one, you learn to gird your loins, put on your steel-toe boots, and step. You got to fight. You got to fight. I ain't going out without a fight. So if you ever come against me, know that I'm not, you think I'm going to just lay down and let you just take over? You're not going to get it easy. Even if you do win this particular battle, it ain't going to be easy for you. You ain't going to just be able to come in and besiege me. You ain't able to just come in and take over me and subdue me. No, you're not. Not going out without a fight. You got to fight back. You have to understand that it's inevitable. Things have to happen to you. That's how you learn. That's how it pushes you into your next. That's how it pushes you into your next level. This, like I said, think about the video games. Okay, you lose that level. And you almost have beat the level. But you couldn't get access to a certain key. Something that you needed to get out of this door. To get out of this level, you couldn't get access to it. And then you end up losing. Or you made a wrong move, made a wrong turn. You didn't see something. But then when you play it again and again and again, you keep losing that first level and you start all over again. And this time, you know what to do this time. Okay, you might lose again. And it teaches you what to do for the next time. It teaches you. Learn from your mistakes. Learn from your that's why I say it's not losses. You take lessons. And when you take it as that, you be like, okay, all right, seen this before. I've seen this before. So I now know how to handle it. You can't get over with me on that stuff. Like my baby daddy said, he said, you ain't green no more. Yeah, I'm not. I'm hip. It ain't nothing that no man could get over on me now because I done been through too much with them. These women out here been through too much with them. I can feel, and now because I understand the intuitive power I have. I understand to listen to my intuition. I have discernment, like heightened discernment now. So which means now that I know how to make better judgment. Where at first I just be like, whatever. Oh, I see something and I'm just going to give them a shot anyway. Nah, you ain't doing that no more. I ain't doing that no more. And this is what you need to take the L's you take in life. This is why you got to be grateful for the things that you go through, even though it hurts, it's sad, it might be sad, but when you think of the bigger picture of where it pushes you to, it'd be like, all right, I needed that. Oh, I needed you to do me like that. Thank you, because you got me here. I learned something new. And as a great student of life that I am, I love learning. I love learning, and I never stop learning. I'm never going to stop learning. I love to learn. And when you begin to be a student of life and love to learn, you're gonna move forward through life better. You're gonna have more understanding. You're not gonna hold on to so much bitterness in your heart. It's not to say that you just rekindle things with everybody, because everything ain't meant to be rekindled. Everything ain't meant to last forever. You was just a part of that season. You was a part of that season. You was the resource that I needed in that season. Everything I went through with you, it was required for me to get here, for me to get the understanding I have today. And understanding is everything. But a lot of us, we choose to fall victim to our circumstances because we want sympathy and pity parties from everybody else. We want to make excuses for ourselves for why we're here and why this is. Nah, everybody got a story. What you gonna do with yours is what matters. What are you gonna do with your story? Turn your own pain to profit. Don't let nobody else be able to kiki and profit off of your pain. That's how you really hit them where it hurt. Everything that the enemy sent to destroy you, you take that and you turn that into purpose. You now profit off of that. You now save lives because of what you've been through. You use those circumstances and let that make you a mentor in said field. So you can mentor others who may have been through it, who's suffering on how to get through it. They don't know how to get through it. You can help get them, lift them up, save their soul. Or people who ain't never been through it, you can educate them. You can give them the game on, hey, don't do that. I'm going to tell you what this going to lead to. And it's up to them if they want to be a stiff neck and don't want to listen to it. That's on them. But they're going to always remember you as the one who said, who gave them the game. So when they come with them pity parties and the victim, they can't say they was never told. It's going to be, you going to have to take accountability because you were warned. But pride come before the fall. So if you so prideful and you can't take advice from nobody because you think everybody hating on you, you think people don't want to see you win, when the whole time they just giving you some advice from based off what they know about facts. But you think you so different. We humans, baby. Ain't too much variations to what we actually experience out here. Just like in this game. Even in the Bible, they're going through the same stuff. Everything that they're going on with the war right now, it's the same stuff in here. That's why as I'm reading this, I'm like, straight game in here. Straight game. Reading Kings, and I'm about to be I'm in Chronicles now, which is still like extra to Kings. So I'm excited to be reading that today. I'm like, dang, answers is all here. When people say it ain't no rule book to life, ain't no rule book to, it talks about everything. I guarantee you, every single one of your problems that you're going through, from illness to abuse to family to parenting to money, wealth, to charity, to taxes. What's all the problems that they talk about in this thing? School, career, babies, twins, everything that's in this game of life, the actual board game, retirement, everything that they talk about here, bruh. What else they talk about on here? Payday. Because this is what they have on here. Like, all these obstacles, insurance. They talk about all of this stuff. Even this, that's why I want to play this. This ain't country. If you retire at Countryside Acres, collect one life tile. Your life tiles are safe. And then that's why I want to get the game, because I want to see what is on these life tiles. Because it's secrets. It's life secrets. And the life card is supposed to be certain achievements that you get through life. And just like how people name now, it teaches about stocks on this game, bank loans. All of that stuff is in here though. All of that stuff is in here. Everything is in your book. So it's like, if you got the Holy Grail, it gives you the game. It gives you the game. Just like I was reading yesterday about this war. Like, I mean, it literally gives you the game. And if people would learn, if our politicians were smart, I'm not even say smart, if they were wiser, they could literally pay attention to history, pay attention to what has already happened, what led up to World War II. What led up to World War II is it was about to lead up to World War III. So I say, prepare. Y'all need to be getting y'all stockpiles together. If God is convicting you to move from any place, whatever God is convicting you of, whether it's whatever it is in this season of your life, be obedient because it's only to save you. Oftentimes we think that God is trying to hurt us and punish us and want us alone and want us not to have nothing, but it's only to help you because he knows things that you don't know. He knows what's coming. He's trying to position you. He knows that certain people are ops in your life, when they wolves in sheep's clothing in your life. And he's trying to spare you because they plotting on you. They plotting to take what you have. They plotting to take your life. Plotting on you. And he's trying to save you. He's trying to spare you because you have children. Or just because you have a purpose that he needs you here to serve. But if you so gung-ho on, no, I just knew this person all this time. Oh, no, I just love my things. Oh, no, I just need this job because this, that. When you move like that and you move off of fear, you block your own blessings. You causing the next generation to now have to pay for your lack of faith. Because had you made the move, your children wouldn't have to go through certain things. Had you made a better move. What you're doing today is going to affect your children. And then the next generation. And then the next generation. This is why it's important to break off curses. But if we would learn the lessons from previous people, previous generations, and stop trying to imitate, we try to copy things that didn't even work for the previous, but we think it worked. We don't even know all the behind the scenes to it. But as I'm just reading this thing, I'm like, I need to be the president. Because these goofies in office, it's almost like, no, it don't mean that you smarter just because you older or wiser just because you older. Because as an older person who have been through things, who have been here during past times when other situations have broke out, you should have learned from the previous. This is why I say it's important to learn from your lesson, learn your mistakes, learn from the before. The same exact thing. And they're going to do the same exact way. That's probably going to be a different video. Because when this thing hit America, they're stupid. That's like, I just need to be in office. It's like, I don't want that responsibility. And because if I get in office, oh, people going to hate me. Y'all going to be trying to stone me because certain stuff that people be with, I'm going to be dead in all of that. Nah. And any of these, man, some people going to be going right to the slaughterhouse. I'm not taking that. Y'all gonna stop messing with them kids. Y'all gonna stop all the wicked stuff because a lot of stuff stems, a lot of the evil that's going on out here. Of course, it's the evil force behind it, but it's the evil force that be messing with kids to ruin them while they're young. A lot of stuff that us as adults face, it stems from childhood. Fear that was put into you since a child, rejection that was done to you as a child, and now you carry that on through life if you don't heal. If you let that obstruction that was thrown in your way in childhood, if you let that hinder you and stop you and mess up your whole mindset, and you stay at that state, because a lot of people are underdeveloped because they're still stuck at their trauma age. Whatever age the trauma happened for you, your mind and your ways are still like that. It's like so many grown people that act like high schoolers. It's like no elevation. Even if you made more money, your mindset and the way you move, the way you act, the way you think is still that of a teenager. And it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me And people talk about all this surface level stuff about why relationships not working out. Talk about what's real. But people been like, they always want, shh, don't tell the family business. Don't tell this. Not even realizing a lot of that stuff is the reason you're still stuck. Because you're still stuck back then. That's what depression and anxiety and all of that stuff, it comes from trauma. You're stuck in the past. You're stuck on stuff that didn't happen, whether it was good or bad. You're stuck on what it used to be. Like people now, they still be like, oh, ain't nobody like our grandparents were. Not like, who wants to be like them? Who wants to be like that? If things were supposed to be like that, they would have never made laws to change certain things, to give women more power. Which man did. Women didn't give women the ability to have the power that we now have. Man did that. It just wants to go, everything, it ain't about gender war. But men are designed to lead. And because they refuse to submit to God, this is why they are always going to be lost. Until they learn to fear God and put him first, they're going to be lost. And this is why nowadays that God is allowing women, he's pouring his spirit onto the women, and why so many women are leading them, because our men don't want to. Like I said, wait till we really get back to Samuel. When we do our Samuel, because hopefully I can get Samuel read. But Samuel, Kings, and Chronicles, it kind of like go together. So I'm trying to, I finished with Kings. I'm in Chronicles now because I'm going to read 2 Chronicles. Then I'm going to go to 1 Samuel. Then I'm going to go to 1 Chronicles. Then I'm going to go to 2 Samuel. Or something like that. 2 Chronicles, 1 Samuel, 2 Samuel, then 1 Chronicles. That's the order I'm reading in. Because in Samuel, though, when I did that Slavery Was a Choice video a while back about why Kanye said that, and it's because men refuse to lead. Men refuse to submit to God. How about I say that? Men refuse to submit to God and they refuse to lead. They don't want to really lead. So it's now forcing us as the women to lead. And that's a whole nother different thing. But we need to understand what we're dealing with. We need to understand what's really going on behind all this hearsay that the people talk about on here. It's real issues that are hindering people because people want to stay stuck. Depression ain't nothing but you being stuck in what it was, no matter what it was. If it's stuck in childhood, if you're stuck on a relationship, if you're stuck on how you used to look, what kind of money you used to have, what kind of popularity you used to have and don't have, it comes from being stuck in the past. Get up out the past. Deal with the past. Understand. Make peace with the past. Make peace with it. Don't let it keep chasing you down, hunting you down. Of course, you might go back down memory lane. We all go back down memory lane. But you ain't there no more. Come to here. Come to the present. And take everything that happened in the past and figure out, what did you hate about it? Okay, anything that you hated about it, fix it now. Make peace with that little child in you now. Talk to her now. Make her feel good now in a sense of how you could really help her. How would you, if you was that little girl who needed that, how would you help that little girl as your present day? The inner child in you, how would the adult version of you today, how would that help that inner child in you? What would you do? How would you save her? How would you want to save many other hers out here? Because maybe that's what you need to start doing out here. People think it's so hard to find your purpose. No, if you stop trying to do what everybody else is doing out here, stop trying to sell what everybody else selling, stop trying to do what they doing. You went through certain things that only you know, that you overcame because you're still living. You survive. You're in survivor state. But we don't want to, y'all see what the name of my channel is, Survivor the Thriver, baby. We are not just survivors. We want to thrive. We want to turn your pain into purpose. Purpose into profit. That's what we want to do. We don't want to stay stuck in a victim mentality. Oh, everything happened to me. Oh, I'm just so depressed because this happened. So now no, it's okay to feel sad about things or that things happen to you. Some things shouldn't have happened, but it did. Now what you going to do with it? What you going to do with it? Besides sitting around looking for a pity party, you got to get up out that funk. When you're in depression or even anxiety, because I suffered real bad from anxiety and that's why I used to smoke so much. But now that I truly have surrendered to God, and this is why it's important to really get close with God, like a real relationship. A real relationship. The relationship comes before, well, for me, the relationship came before I started reading this. It was him that led me to order this book before I came to Texas, right before I came. It was God. And like I said earlier in the video, me talking to myself, I talk out loud all the time. A lot of y'all have been silenced. You have been silenced. And because you have been silenced, you scared to talk. You scared to even talk to your own self. You scared to even deal with your own thoughts. Talk. Let your voice be heard. That's how I end up really I talk to myself all the time. I still do. But now I know that God's hearing it. Sometimes I'm intentionally talking to God. Sometimes I'm just talking out loud. But it's just a conversation. I don't got to talk to other people because a lot of times other people don't understand me. They don't understand my level of thinking. Only I do. So it's best to talk to my own self. Sometimes I be at the store. And I don't know. I do it so much that I don't even realize that I'm doing it when I'm out. Like, especially if I'm at the store deciding on something. And somebody, like, people be like, you talk to yourself? I'll be like, yeah. And sometimes they'll be left, they be like, I do that too. Sometimes they be like, I do that too. Or sometimes they be like, that's cool. Like, it'd be funny when they be saying that or when they catch me doing it. But I do, because me talking to myself has prevented me from doing certain things. Like, I'd be like, look, it helps me get through stuff. I don't need to go talk to everybody else, because sometimes when you talk to other people, they want to pacify you. And because I'm a realist, like, I have the logic side of me and I got the little crazy side, but I have logic. So I know if you do this, this may happen. Sometimes the impulsivity be like, I don't care. I'm going to do it anyway, but I understand consequences. I understand there's consequences to everything that we do in life. And when you understand that, you move differently. I understand that I'm not going to be defeated. I refuse to walk around sad. I refuse to walk around just mad at the world, the world ain't do nothing to me. Even the people who actually did something to me, I'd be like, I just charge it to the game. I'm like, that's just part of it. It's just part of life. It is what it is. Am I going to rock with you again like that? Am I going to trust you again like that? No. Can you ever sit next to me again? No. You snooze, you lose. You should have played with something safe, baby. Because I fight back. And the way I fight back is just starving you. I starve the parasite. I starve the axis because I know what I bring. And this is what you have to understand. You're going to go through things. People going to hurt you. But it's how you deal with it. How you deal with it. What you do with the pain that they caused you. Learning your lessons. If you get out of being a victim and understand that those ain't nothing but tricks of the enemy trying to be convincing you to stay stuck. Anything that's convincing you to stay stuck, that is an evil force working against you. Keeping you stuck in whatever bad habits, keeping you stuck. Because God is about evolving. He created one thing and it's supposed to multiply. He is about abundance, not lack. So if you suffer from a mindset of lack, of being stuck, of being fearful, being stuck in the past, worrying too much about what's ahead instead of just letting it flow, trusting in the process. If you don't trust the process and you let the enemy plant those seeds of doubt in you, it's going to cause depression. It's going to cause anxiety, which then is going to keep you stuck. Because if you're fearful about what's ahead, it's going to keep you stuck. Because I'm scared about what I might lose. Even though it might be a win out there, I'm scared about what I might lose just to get that win. Baby, you got to take them L's. And when you learn to not be afraid to fail, not be worried about people's criticism and what people got to say, that's just noise. Especially from people who ain't where you want to be. If they ain't where you want to be, how you letting them silence you? A lot of people don't only have a certain level of thinking. And that's what I had to learn on my journey. I'm like, this is why I really don't care to be close with nobody, especially right now. If I get certain people, I just realize where I'm headed. And because I know where I'm headed is greater than where I am, I don't focus too much on where I am. I know that there's certain tasks I have to do right now, but I can't have certain people around me because those type of people will try to keep you right here when I'm not trying to stay right here. This ain't where I'm trying to stay. I'm trying to elevate. I want to retire gracefully. I'm trying to retire in countryside acres, like on that dang on Game of Life. I'm trying to retire with greatness. I want to retire great. I want to be put up. I want to make sure I got my ducks in a row. I want to make sure I can plan for my kids. I want to make sure my kids don't have to go into so much debt. I want to set my kids up for success. I want to be able to gift my kids with $20,000 for their first house like them other folk can do. I want to be able to pay for my kids' college tuition if they want to go without them having to get them loans that further put them in more bondage and really hold them up in life, making them be slaves. I'm taking the necessary risk so my children don't have to. So it just depends on what you want out of life. And you got to know what you want out of life. And it was something that I read on here in this game. Let's see where it is. Because it was like it was saying something about like a risky, you either going to take the safe path or you're going to take the risky path. Let's see if I can find where it was. I want to get this game. They say life spaces are all about family activities, community service, and good deeds. Yeah, you're going to lose a job in life. You just got to learn how to pivot. You're going to take L's. You got to learn how to pivot. You can't be just mad. Sometimes you needed to lose that job because that wasn't what you're supposed to do forever. You don't even be wanting the job half the time. You don't even want it. You just know that, okay, I got to pay bills, so I need to stay here. But God got something else better for you that's going to bring you peace and the money. Sometimes you got to lose stuff to gain greater. That's just been my life experience. And that's why I don't care. It's like, I'll lose it. I don't care. I already know something better is coming, baby. Something better is on the horizon. So this is what I wanted to read because it says the family path. So before you spend, choose either to take the family path and increase your chances of having children or continue on the life path. And that probably means like family or single. What you do if you have a family might be different than what you do if you're single. So I don't really know, but I want to get this game so we could play it. But it is. And then it says the risky path. Before you spend, decide if you want to take the risky path, which contains many spends to win opportunities, or the safe path and spend time with your family. I'm a risk taker, baby. No risk, no reward, like Tarek said. No risk, no reward. I'm taking them risks. Especially I'm young. I got nothing to do but take risks. Well, now I'm 30. I'm still young though. I'm still young. But my 20s, I've been taking risks my whole 20s. That's why, yes, I will. If you don't have the same type of mindset and drive that I have, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to outgrow you. But yeah, that's why for me, y'all, I'm going to take risks because I know what I want. I know where I'm headed. I know what I want out of life. And I know my goals. And I know for my goals, I'm going to have to take risks, especially because I don't have a blueprint that was set before me because nobody in my family did it. Or at least I don't know because I don't even know majority of my family, truth be told. So I don't really know. Wasn't close with nobody. You know, so I don't really know. But I know that my mom and my dad and my brother and my grandmother, like my uncle, those close, the closest that, you know, I do have. And I ain't even close with them. But they haven't done it. So they don't have the blueprint that I want. So a lot of things is trial and error for me. I don't have no friends, like nobody that was around me. None of my boyfriends that I didn't had, none of them have done the things that I'm trying to do. They haven't done it, nor do they care to do it, because that's not, they don't have the vision. God didn't give them that vision. And even if he did, they not trying to execute it. They don't care about setting our children up for success, which is why I'm taking a risk. Sorry, you want to lay up and play love all day. Like, nah, we can do intimacy. We can do the intimacy stuff, but we need to set the foundation for our children so that our children won't be struggling like us. So if that's not your concern, then yes, I don't want you. I don't want it. If you around just to see me reach after everything and set up the foundation for our children, and you think you just gonna sit there and ride my wave and not try to help build this house, you think, nah, I don't want you. I don't want nobody depleting me, because in the process you're depleting me, and I'm seeing that you ain't here to help. Then you gotta stay behind. You gotta stay behind, because I've had to sacrifice a lot. I've taken a lot of sacrifices just to try to figure this thing out, because there was no blueprint handed to me. Everything I know, even what I'm learning now in my new space that I'm in with my newfound career and everything, there was no blueprint for me. God is the one that's leading me the way on everything to do. So I'm taking risks. I'm risking this, risking that, just to try to get ahead. So that's the path I'm taking, the risky path. And that's why I really want to get this game and play it. But I want to play it. My daughter, she's too young to really understand this game. I want to play it with like somebody older, like my age. But this would be a good game to teach my child and stuff for when she do get a little older, for us to play this game and understand it. Because in life you do have choices, and you need to understand that the choices you make, you're going to have to pay for those choices, and you're either going to get a good reward or a bad reward. It's either a good investment or a bad investment. And you got to learn from your bad investments and learn from your good ones, because if you do something good, you want to make sure you replicate that again and again and again. If you do something bad, you don't want to replicate that again and again and again. You want to learn from that, figure out how to pivot that into something greater. So overall, you guys, we got to understand life is a game. You're playing to win. Don't be defeated. People want to see you check out. They want to see you take that L. They want to see you stay down. This is why resilience and perseverance is key. Why you have to be bold, you have to be brave, you have to do you have to do the unthinkable. You have to do what the 99% is not doing. And that's one thing that I'm really learning is, if everybody's saying it, it might be something wrong with that. Because we're indoctrinated. So the churches, the schools, they teaching you what they want you to know. And a lot of times they're not teaching you the real game. They're not teaching you the real game. They ain't teaching you that because they want the whole objective is population and mind control. They want to warp your minds, because if they can convince you to do this, you can be their slaves forever. That's why we're in modern day slavery. Modern day. You taking certain paths, like it says, you take the risky path or the safe path to spend time with your family. But even with this so-called safe path that they would deem as safe, it really ain't, because getting a job, going to school, going to college, getting all this debt, because your parents ain't got no money to pay for your college. So now you're pulling out loans. Now you get out of school, you don't have no money to really pay for those loans. You're getting jobs just to pay those loans so you won't mess up your credit. We're not taught about credit. We're not taught the real things that we need to know. We're not taught about credit card utilization. We ain't taught about everything. We're not taught to pay your bills on time. We're not taught how to increase income. We're not taught about true assets versus liabilities. We're not taught the game. We're not taught the game, which is why we losing, which is why we stay in these rat races. Then we go out here and we're not taught on how to how to pick partners, because it's really business. It really is. Because depending on who you let in your life, they can make or break you. No matter what you're doing. If you working towards something, you got an evil force that is supposedly your partner, and they're constantly working against you because they're jealous, because they're envious of you, or because they lack drive, all they're going to do is keep you down here. They're staying here. Meanwhile, you're moving along. They stuck in this lane. There's traffic. They got a bunch of obstructions blocking them, or maybe ain't nothing in their way. They just choosing to stay in park because they lazy, because they don't have no drive, because they never did nothing, you know. And they'll be trying to keep you there. Nah, you trying to get ahead. They're like, nah, come back over here. Come back in the slow lane. Come on, get over in my slow lane. Nah. What they say? She say, y'all, you say I be moving fast. Nah, you slow. You moving too slow. Ain't that I'm moving too fast, it's you're moving too slow. Because sometimes we are going at slow and steady speed. Some people do want to get in the fast lane. Like, even with driving, y'all can make whole too long of a video if I really go into it. It's already long. But I don't really go there. If I really do an analogy of driving, like trying to get in the fast lane, look at how people doing driving. They be speed past you. Sometimes people are trying to go too fast. They trying to speed past you, in and out of traffic, just to get to the red light. You moving at your slow and steady pace. You end up at the red light with them. They look over at them and they scared to look at you because they know they just did all of that moving and all of that crap just to get at the red light. And now you at the red light right with them. And it's like, you were going nowhere really fast. Like, where were you going? Slow down, because you still right here with me. Like, I still didn't caught up to you. Like, and that's why you got to stay in your lane. You got to do what's best for you. You got to not pay attention to what everybody else got going on. Do you. Allow God to lead you on your straight and narrow path. Stop trying to jump into this lane. Oh, I see this person doing that. They going fast over there. At least it looked like they going fast. Not knowing that sometimes before it looked like somebody is succeeding, you didn't see those years of starving they were doing, the years of them putting in work, the years that went behind it. So when you see them take off, you thinking it's out of nowhere whole time. They've been working the past 5, 10 years, 20 years. Just for they finally get that year of they win. Just for them to finally pick up the speed, get that momentum. So you don't really know what people got going on. This is why you stay in your own lane. And why if you got somebody in your life that's not equally yoked with you, that don't have the same vision for you, y'all not building the same type of foundation. They trying to build it on a faulty one. You trying to build it on a stable one. Y'all don't have nothing in common on a spiritual level first. Because if you believe in God and they don't believe in God, or you in this type of religion who you believe in false gods, and you in this one who believe in the real God, and y'all don't have the same principles, you got to build on that solid foundation. Because if you're not equally yoked, somebody going to either be pulling somebody down, and somebody going to be trying to lift the other person up. And in the process of you trying to lift them up, you're going to be falling off the cliff. They falling off the cliff. You reach down trying to pull them up. In the process, they end up pulling you down. Now you didn't fall off the cliff. Now y'all both dead. That's why you got to work with people who are willingly trying to work with you, not work against you. And a lot of people you intermarry, come together, not even like on a legal term, but period. You come together with a person who they don't have no goals that they have in life. And even if they have goals, they're not working towards them. They don't believe in who you believe in. This is why it's a thing consistently in the book about not intermarrying with them Canaanite women, with them unbelievers who don't believe in the same God as you. There's many people who, I just see it often, even with the holidays, because that was me. Like, I don't celebrate holidays anymore. I do like Kwanzaa, But like Christmas and Easter and Halloween, I just now learning about like Mother's Day and Father's Day. So I'm still on the fence about that. Eventually, I'm probably going to break away from all of that mess. But my exes, both my baby dads, they didn't celebrate Christmas. Like, but they say, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it for you. For you. If you're with people who don't celebrate something, you don't need to be with people who don't have the same belief system as you, because it will, in the long run, it's gonna affect things. It's going to affect things. And I see it so often with men who don't celebrate these holidays, but they get with women who do. And now they only doing it for her. They only doing it for her. And if that's not really what you do, you don't try to fit into somebody else's programming. You stand on your beliefs. You stand on your beliefs. And this is why if you mix with people who don't have the same beliefs as you, you got one party, they celebrate this. The other party, they don't celebrate that. So now it's like, okay, what do we do? What do we really teach our kids? What do we teach our kids if we don't have the same belief system? And I've seen a couple people, who was talking about how they grew up to one believer parent, one unbeliever parent, and how it didn't work for them. And I actually think I did a video when I was talking about the guy. I think it was like the video about the music industry, about how Satan uses the music to corrupt humanity. And the guy was talking about how, he married basically an unbeliever. She wasn't, but he said too, he wasn't Christian either at that time. But you can't expect other people to convert just because you have converted and now they coming over. This is why it's really just important, but I can't say, because things happen in different people's lives for different reasons. But you can possibly give people some time, but in the process, it just don't work. When you a believer and they not a believer, it don't work. Because they're not going to stand on the principles that you stand on. They're not going to see a problem with some of that heathen stuff that they do. Meanwhile, you see a problem with it, they don't see a problem with it. It's going to cause you guys to clash. And now what is going to be taught to your children? You got a heathen of a wife who's Jezebel. She's going to teach your children to be Jezebel. She's going to teach your little girls how to be Jezebels. If you got a man and he's weak, he Ahab, he's care about what the streets got to say, all he care about is the streets, and you have a son by that man, your child, your son is going to fall victim to jail and death, just like his father. Because as a person who live in that lifestyle, he's going to show that to his children because he think it's cool. So now he's going to be showing that to his sons if he haven't outgrown that. Now, a man who once used to be in that lifestyle, who have outgrown it, they're going to be like, nah, my son ain't doing that, because I know what that leads to, and I don't want my son doing that stuff. I know what type of turmoil that lifestyle has brought to me. I don't want my kids doing it. So this is just a lot of, I know I didn't jump around, but this is a lot of factors that we need to consider in life, and who you building with, who you playing this game of life with, who you playing it with, and who you let leading you in this game of life. And if you don't have God leading you in this game of life, baby, you're going to always be going nowhere really fast. You're going to constantly keep hitting rock bottom, hitting rock bottom, hitting rock bottom. If you constantly live this life and don't learn your lesson, you're going to constantly be doing 360s. You don't want to do 360s in life. I know that's whole saying out here is, oh, they did a whole 360. If you did a whole 360, you landed right back to the pits of hell where you was at already. You hit that rock bottom already again. You don't want to keep hitting rock bottom. If you started at rock bottom, you don't want to do a 360. That's a circle, full circle. Life comes in a full circle if you don't learn those lessons. And you don't want to full circle your way right back into having nothing, to being at rock bottom. You want to come on the other side, which means let me get a piece of paper. Let's get a piece of paper for y'all. Because y'all know I got it. That's why soon I'm going to get I need to get me a bigger whiteboard. We're going to have some real lessons I can write up on a whiteboard for y'all. Okay. If we in a circle, we at the bottom. We want to get here. We want to get to the other side. We're in poverty here. Poverty minds and literally probably poverty in our pockets. We want to come to the other side. We want to see what it's like to live in the land flowing of milk and honey. We want to see what some success looks like, how it feels to get some of these life tokens on our board in the game of life. We need to play this game of life. I wonder how if we could all play. Like, we need to play this game because we all adults. We need to play this game. And that's what I care about. I'm so about us renewing mind, body, soul, and finances. We want to get spiritually together first because we want to work inside out. We ain't working outside in. God is about getting us together inside out because it don't do you no good. What does it say? What should it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his own soul? It don't profit you nothing. Because if you got all these riches, all you gonna do is spend it on getting drugged up, pilled up, to deal with all the suffering you got going on inside, to deal with all them demons you fighting inside. We don't battle demons, baby. We slay them. We obliterate them, get them out of here. We don't do that. And in the process of getting to the other side, here, when we're trying to get to the top, this is the areas where you learn your lessons. This is the area. You don't want to get to the top or maybe never get to the top. You just do a complete circle and end up back at the bottom. You bypass the top. We don't want to do that. We want to get to the other side and stay there. We don't want to just skip on past it and come back to the bottom. We don't want to do that. You don't want to do 360s. A circle is a 360. You don't want to do 360s. You want 180s, half of 360. Half of 360, 360 divided by 2 is 180. You want to get to the other side. You want to get to the other side. You don't want to keep coming back to where you started at. Poverty. Spiritual poverty and physical poverty. We want to be rich in spirit, and whatever's inward is going to exude itself outward. We want to be rich in spirit and rich in physically. We want to have good health. We want to have a healthy mindset, rich in your mind, rich in your account, rich in land. You want to buy up some of this earth. That's what you want to buy up. Like I said here, you want to reside in the countryside. I say that's where I want to be at. Have me a nice estate. We want a real estate. That's what we want. Real estates. In the countryside. Because it said you can either retire at millionaire estates or countryside acres. So I was really just looking at them like, because sometimes, and I don't know, I'm analyzing to see like what they really saying. Because it says if you retire at millionaire estates, any of the other players who have life tiles left, it says if you retire at millionaire estates, your life tiles are not safe. If the draw pile runs out, other players can take your life tiles from you when they land on life spaces. And life tiles are supposed to be your achievements and things like that, or secrets or something it was saying. I haven't played the game, but I'm looking at the rules of the game. And then it says if you retire at countryside acres, you get no additional life tiles for retiring at countryside acres. However, your life tiles are safe. And if the draw piles run out, other players cannot take tiles from you when they land on life spaces. And me, I don't want you being able to come steal my wealth, steal none of my achievements. So, baby, we don't want to just be rich. We want to be rich with acres and property in the countryside. We want to have assets. I don't want to just be a rich person that's rich physically and not rich spiritually. I don't even want to be rich spiritually and physically. I want to be wealthy in spirit and wealthy in the physical. Because we don't want to, because rich people aren't necessarily wealthy people. Because some people have riches, they have money. They might make a bunch of money, but they might have a poverty mindset still. They still want to just save up all their money and not invest their money. They don't understand the true benefit of having assets. Because I see it a lot now, especially since people are, they getting big money off of social media and stuff. And it's just what you do with it. And I think that's why they saying you don't want to You want to retire at Countryside Acres so nobody can't come steal your money. Because if you retire at millionaire estates, meaning you might make a bunch of money, but you can lose all of that money because you ain't made no real good investments and assets with your money. And I'm thinking that's what it's really probably saying. But if you retire at Countryside Acres, you got acres out here, you got land, you got true assets out here, you got properties, you got businesses that's flowing and running, true legitimate ones. And then even with that, you still got some properties to back those up. And that's why I say play the game of Monopoly, because being now where I'm at mentally, and now I never had played the game of Monopoly, but playing it now, it gives you understanding about what they really do out here, buying up the properties. So play both of those games. This video didn't got long, but overall, y'all, don't let the obstacles in your life defeat you. You're going to have obstacles. Obstructions are going to get thrown in your path. It is your job to overcome them. It is your job to figure out how to solve that problem and move around, go to the next thing. That's like, let's make another little diagram right quick. So this is our road. We're on our little road in our life. This is the finish line. Let's make us a little flag. It's our little flag. It's our little flag, and this is our start. And this is our finish line. Put some little hair on there. See, my daughter, she can draw real good. I can't draw nothing. But this is our finish. This is our starting. This is our road. This is our road. We starting here, finish here. You're going to get lolly, lolly, la. You walk in, everything is good. Then boom, obstruction come in. It might be a death in your family. It might be an illness. It might be I got fired from a job. It might be my husband left me. My boyfriend, girlfriend left me. It might be maybe I had a baby and now I can't work, or I'm having a high risk pregnancy. You got to get through this hurdle. You don't let this hurdle overcome you, because you're going to get through this hurdle. When you have faith in God, and when you have faith that God will get you through anything, and if you go to him to help you get through anything, and you take his advice, take his counsel, and stop thinking that you know everything, and stop listening to all the naysayers around you, stop listening to mere flesh, if you stop putting your confidence in man and put your trust in the Lord, like we talked about in that video yesterday, you're going to win. Because he's going to give you all the tools and resources that you need to overcome this hurdle. All right, this hurdle, all right, we made it over that. She done jumped over that one, so now she's here. Now she's here. All right, she jumped over that one. Now she's here. All right, lolly, lolly, lolly. Life is good right now. Things is going pretty good. Then boom, boom, tornado hits. Lose all our stuff. Hey, shh, get out. Now, boom, tornado hits. We lose all our stuff. Are we going to let this defeat us? Yeah, we're going to cry. She's sad now. She's sad. We're here now. We're right here. And now she's sad. She's crying tears. She's crying tears. She's crying tears. But she's going to cry and figure out how to get through this problem too. Okay, we lost it all. It hurts. I had good photos in that house. I had, good memories there. And it too, it's gone now. They came and wiped our stuff out. This happened, whatever. We're going to get through this. We're going to take the lessons from here and keep it pushing. Okay, maybe now we need to understand why it's important to have a certain type of insurance, because this didn't happen. So now we need to have certain type of insurance. Or maybe we now need to, when we start making our money, now we need to save it. Now we need to invest it. Now we need to have us a backup property just in case something happens to that one. Maybe we need to have a certain type of insurance so that they cover us to put us in a hotel or, whatever. This is why even in this game here, it's insurances. You purchase insurances. Like I say, homeowners insurance. If you If you buy this homeowner's insurance, you're now protected in cases of floods, tornadoes, and theft. So if somebody comes, you got insurance on that. All right, you get over this hurdle. Now she's like, la di la di la di la la la. Something else that happened. Boom, boom. Can't take a break. I done took this L. I done took this L. Now we at another L. But we almost to the finish line. We almost to the finish line. Don't give up here when you almost there. You almost there. Don't give up. Moral of the story is don't give up. You're going to go through things in life. But when you have goals, you do what you have to do to get those goals. Hopefully you're moving with integrity, because when you don't move with integrity, you're going to pay for that one. When you're willing to step on everybody back to get to the top, to get to the finish line, you will pay for that. You don't want to step on your loved ones' backs. You don't want to get with people, get in relationships with people when you really have no intention on growing with them. You just riding along for the journey to take what they have, or to, ride their wave so you can benefit off of their success and their hard work when you ain't help them put none in, or you ain't got nothing to contribute to the situation. You don't want to be just using people. That ain't what you want to do. Okay, so just understand that things is going to happen. Things is going to happen. Don't let it defeat you. Do not let it defeat you. You may have took that loss. The enemy might have won that battle, but he will not win the war as long as you keep getting up and fighting. And the one way you make him mad is to keep fighting back. You gotta keep fighting back. You gotta make him mad. He gets mad when he see you won't give up. He gets mad when you learn from your mistakes. He gets mad when he can't trick you out your spot, because he be trying to trick you out your spot. That's why he plants seeds of doubt. That's why he make you have fear, promote fear. Keep you stuck in the past. Keep you silenced is the biggest one. He keep you silenced. And when you're silent about something, that guilt eats you up. If you can't talk about something that is brewing on the inside, you can't get it out. You getting backed up with crap. You just full of mess, full of traumas, and full of BS that you can't talk about because you're scared of what people are going to say. Nah, you causing toxicity in you. That's why you got IBS syndrome. You're backed up. You're full of crap that needs to come out. You need to detox. You need to let it out. That's the only way you can heal it, is to let it out. Set you free. The truth shall set you free. The truth shall set you free. Tell the truth, shame the devil. The devil is the father of lies. The devil wants you to hold all these secrets that's actually hurting you and hurting generations to come, because of secrets and stuff that you're holding in that can actually save millions of people if you be audacious and let it out. If you use your story, if you use your test and turn it into a testimony, and then preach your testimony, and then give words of wisdom and encouragement and tools on how to defeat and overcome those same tests, you can help out so many others. Because what the enemy meant for evil, God will always use it for good. He will turn it around for good. But if you don't work with him to allow him to turn it into the good, because you're still so ashamed and you're scared and you got so much pride, you're not going to be able to break out. The goal is to break out. Break out. Just like everybody's goal in the hood is to break out. You want to get up out of that environment. An environment that was designed for the people to self-destruct. You want to break out the rat race. It was designed for people to self-destruct, to go into survival mode. And we really are. It's really survival of the fittest out here. You either going to step or you're going to get stepped on. You either going to eat or you going to get ate up. You got to learn how to fight for yours. You got to learn how to fight for your peace. You got to learn how to fight for what you want in life. You don't just take everything that's just handed to you. You go out here and take what's yours. I don't mean take from other people in a bad way. but you work towards these things. You offer something to these people so that they will want to pay you for your services. You bring something valuable to the table that they can't even resist your offer. You work with people that are actually going headed where you want to go. You want to have people on your team that's going to work with you and not against you. And a lot of reason why our community can't succeed is because we be working against each other. We're in relationships with people that working against us. We're friends with people. We in families with people that's working against us. Like, how, Sway? We supposed to be working together. The wealth gap is already huge between us and them other folk. We see how they all come together, open a store, set up shop in our hood, like I discussed in the Black community playlist. We let people come and set up shop in our hoods, get rich off of our little dollars, our big dollars. How about that? Because it might seem like we ain't got no money, but when we all pull it together, we must got enough of it because we make them rich. You see, they come in our hoods and set up shop. They cater to us. The value that they bring to our hoods, they bring what they know we want. The foods they know we like. The foods that the Chinese people feed us, they don't eat that stuff. The products that they sell in the beauty supply stores, they don't use that stuff. They know what we like. They study us. It's time for us to study their tactics. And they come together, not all of them, because not all of them either are, but they come together with purpose. They ain't just, even though there are many of their women too who dealing with sorry men who they gotta foot everything or whatever way, but most times they're coming together with an intention on setting up a future for themselves and for their children. And then teaching them the game and leaving things to them. They able to help their children out. Meanwhile, we just struggling. Even when we go to college, we struggling college students. I was a struggling college student, stealing food out the stove. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I can't give up, because my daughter, my girls, I'm not having it. I cannot stop until I become financially stable. And shoot, now I'm rich. I'm big rich in spirit. Even teaching my daughter that. My baby said yesterday, she said, and mommy, today, she said, the devil was trying to get me to do something bad. I said, what? I said, what the devil say? Because she be hearing stuff too. The devil be after your kids. And this is why we need to teach our children the importance of prayer. We need to pray with our children. We need to teach them about the spiritual realm. They hearing voices too. Ain't no dang on schizophrenia. This is the good versus evil. It's the voices. And she said the voice because I remember her telling me that one time, she was like, she heard something calling her name, like a voice calling her name. It was just saying her name. I'm like, I hope that's God calling you to try to just let you know he there for you, because I now teach her how to pray and talk to God. Even if she get mad at me or mad at her sister, write in your journal and you pray, you talk to God, you take all your frustrations to the Lord too. You tell mommy how you feeling, of course, but things that even if you might not feel comfortable telling mommy, you tell it to God. And sometimes she get mad or something at me, and then she'll come back down later. She like, hey, mommy, I talked to God and I was praying to God and I told him how I feel. So, but she said that yesterday that she said, I said, well, what the devil was trying to get you to do? And mind you, the other day I had on my shirt that said, not today, Satan, not today, Satan. So I was talking to her about the shirt. And so yesterday she said, and yeah, mommy, and the voice, she was like, and the devil was trying to get me to do something bad. I was like, well, what the devil was trying to get you to do? She was like, he was trying to get me to hit somebody. I was like, well, I'm glad she said, and I told her, I said, not today, Satan. She said, I told him, I said, not today, Satan. Get behind me. Get behind me. So I was cracking up laughing. I was like, yes, baby, good girl. Don't be just hitting people. All right. It's just funny. I said, even when them kids bothering you, because she be talking about the little boy that's sitting next to her. She be having to move her seat from him because he be touching her stuff and stuff. So she be just telling me little stuff. I be like, you tell him you a child of God. Don't play with you because God is watching. And woo. So yeah, it just be so funny. And we got to teach our kids. We got to teach our kids about spirituality. We got to teach them to pray. We got to stay prayed up. We have to be some praying parents. We have to teach our kids how to pray on their own behalf, how to listen and tune into the voice of God, listen to their intuition. We got to train our children up in a way they should go. We got to set them up for greatness. And it ain't just about setting them up on the financial tip. It's about on a spiritual tip too. They need to be rich in spirit, knowing how to fight the wiles of the devil too. And we want to set them up for greatness on, in the material world too, so that they don't have to go through the struggles that we go through. They don't have to go through that. They're going to have their own struggles in itself. But the one thing we can lighten a burden on is financial troubles. And teaching them how to really play this game. Teach them how to play the game of life. They're going to have this. This is going to happen. This is what it is. It ain't to coddle them. It ain't to sugarcoat them and act like nothing be happening, because life be life, and for real. Kids are at their young ages. My baby only 7. She already be having her own feelings and thoughts and battles that she go through. That's just on a child level, but even with the effects of her parents, the things we do affect them. And they don't always talk about it because they don't understand it. It's things that they go through too. When kids say they depressed, my daughter ain't depressing them, but there are kids out here who feel depressed. And this is why you have to give your children the opportunity to speak how they feel, so they're not suppressing so much inside. And then it starts to come out in their behaviors. I'm grateful for my baby because she really is a happy child. I got some happy kids, and I just want them to remain pure and innocent. That's why I pray over their innocence all the time, because I know the devil is out here roaring like a lion, seeking to steal our children's innocence, baby. And I'm just not having it. I'm not having it. But this video was pretty long, you guys. I hope y'all got something out of it. Understand, life is a game. Play to win. Don't easily be defeated. Just because you lose one battle don't mean you losing the war. You still got much more life to fight. As long as God keep waking you up every day, He giving you another opportunity to get it right. Another opportunity to get it right. Another day to learn from your failures. It's okay to fail, but you don't succumb to that. You don't stay there. You don't let that be your whole life. You don't let that be your whole excuse for why you're not doing more, or why you're not changing your behaviors, or why you're staying stuck in situations, stuck with people, places, and things that are no longer serving you. You don't want to be stuck in this life. Why would you want to be stuck in lack when God gave us abundance? Like, you can do anything you want to do, for real. You literally have free will to do anything you want to do. So if you choose with your free will to do nothing, to stay stuck in poverty physically, stay stuck in poverty mentally, stay stuck in the past about everybody that wronged you, instead of seeing how you can use what they did to bring harm to you, and how you can now use it for your good, and how now you can get up and coach other people who went through it. It just depends on how you look at things. If you let all the bitterness and hate override everything and turn you into this wicked person, nah, you can stand on business. Like me, I'm not wicked. I still have a heart of love, but I understand that everybody don't deserve my love, but everybody do deserve kindness. And the people I feel like don't necessarily deserve my kindness because of what they did, even with them, give them grace. You just can't get certain access to me. It's now strictly business for you. So the ones I got kids with, it's business. And when we have kids together, it's business. Once you bring a child into the play, even when you get into relationships, it really is business. You making an agreement. You coming into agreement about something. There's a desired result that you're getting. At least it should be. When you get with a person, what is supposed to be the desired result here? How do we get that result? So if we're trying to get a result, that means we need to come together and be working towards a certain mission. So it's a business deal. You coming together to achieve a certain result. Whatever your result is. And you got to both work towards that together. It's a partnership working together. And having kids with a person is business. It ain't about necessarily me or you. It's going to benefit our child. It's going to benefit the one thing that we have in common now, which is our child. So we need to be working together to make sure we produce a great fruit here. We want to produce great fruit. We want to break off those curses on our bloodline. We don't want to just, so I got one that's good. Hopefully me and the other one can get it together. But it takes time for these people to get out their feelings because of the hurt. And this is what you got to understand about relationships. Like, stop being like, people, you don't have to end relationships so messy. Sometimes people outgrow one another. You cannot force somebody to come down to your level. You cannot force somebody to stay where you are. You cannot force other cars to move. That's what I'm saying with driving. Like, you can't force other cars to go the speed that you want. Just because you want to go that slow. And then you want everybody else to slow up too. You might feel like you got longer to get somewhere than that person do. And sometimes that person might be speeding fast and they ain't really going nowhere either. But you don't know it's where the destination is. Everybody got a different destination. And if your destination is different from my destination, baby, understand that I'm going to get out your car. I'm going to get out your lane. I'm going to get off on this exit, go a different way to get to my destination. Because I'm not going to let you or nobody else be holding me up. And you don't need to let me hold you up either. We don't want the same things and we don't have the same end goal. We're not trying to get to the same finish line, baby. And even if we are, sometimes you still got to take the route you got to go to get to that destination is not the route that I got to go to get to that destination. Everybody got their own route. But I ain't letting nobody hold me up. So people need to stop being so hurt in their feelings and then trying to use manipulation tactics to keep you in bondage and using kids just to keep you bonded to them because they think that's going to bind you. It never gave that. And that's another thing people need to realize. Because if it didn't keep me with the last one, what makes you think, why do you think, you really think you that much different? And this goes back to what I said. People really be thinking that they're so much different. This dude really think that he's so much better than my first baby dad. That he just had something so much more magnificent. He's so much more better that you wouldn't get left to. If I left my provider, the one who provided, because I couldn't take his tactics, I couldn't take his emotional abuse. Do you really think that I'm going to stay with you? And you don't even do half of what he do? Come on now. You can't be crazy. You can't be this dang on. You can't be this slow. You can't be this egotistical. But it don't have to be so evil. Like, people just learn to separate, let go and let God. Because if it's meant to be, it'll come back around. Maybe that, I understand it as, I see why it was necessary for this to happen for me. God had to get to me and get right. Like, what he had to do, it took for him to isolate me to do it. It took him to isolate me, for him to fully get a hold of me like he needed to get my undivided attention. To focus solely on him, to have nobody to rely on but him. That's what it took. And I know that he really need to do the same for him. But when you are isolated, but you really still got so much distractions because you still go hanging out with these people or you still watch TV too much. When I say complete isolation, I don't watch TV. I don't even watch TV in God knows how long. Even when I was at the shelter, we had a big TV in there, big Samsung. I ain't never turned that TV on. I don't even watch TV. If it ain't about my growth, I know where I'm trying to go. And now I got another task at hand to be reading this. So I don't really have time to play. I don't really have time to talk. I don't really have time to not do none of that. Because I have children that are growing as I'm growing. And I want to make a better life for them. So I'm the one that's willing to take these risks. I go down the risky path so my kids can benefit from this. And people need to be okay with going into isolation. Stop trying to do what the 99% is doing. If you're doing everything that everybody else is doing, you're going to follow the path of destruction like everybody else. That's why for me, if everybody's doing this, all right, let me do this. That's what gives me my direction. If everybody's doing this, if everybody is saying this, let me do different, because I know I don't want to do what the 99% were doing. I'm trying to get to that 1 percentile. We don't want to be at the bottom. We want to get to that 1 percentile. This is why even now I watch, like, on a physical tip, like, or monetary, I watch billionaires and millionaires, real millionaires with real assets, not people who done revenue $1 million and then they just sit and spend their money up. And I watch people who really like the big dogs. I watch the big dogs. I want to watch them. I want to know the real tricks to the trade. And for spiritual guidance, I only go to the biggest dog, the Creator. I don't got no spiritual coaches. I go to God. So I always go to the ones that's up there. I don't do middlemen. I go straight to the source. I go straight to who has what I want. Let me get some advice from them. That's who I want. I want to be spiritually rich. I want to understand fully the evil forces of this world, so I know how to really fight against them. I want to really know the real truth about the creation that the Creator have created. And who can give me that but the Creator? Because if I rely on humans, I'm going to be sold a bunch of lies and deception like everybody else. I want to know the truth. I'm the spirit of truth. I love truth. Truth sets me free. I feel liberated off of truth. So I want to know. And the only one who is the all-knowing truth is the Father who created this gang baby. So for my spiritual nourishment, I go straight to the Father and He lead the way. And that's what I'm saying. It's so much. I just be like, I can't believe it. I just can't believe that I had this relationship. How did you do this? Like, how are you, me, a person who was never really like into this, never grew up on this, let alone, I knew of God because I heard other people speaking of God, but I wasn't like a true believer. But I did always have faith. That's how it just God. When you look back on your life, you will realize that God was always there with you. He was always with you. He was always with you. So many times my life been spared. So many times I just was walking a lonely road, just alone, just taking risk. I always had that faith in me, even though I didn't have faith in God because I didn't know Him. I've heard of Him, of course, because people just talk about God, but I really didn't know Him. Bless you, baby. But now that I know Him, I'm like, wow, I just can't even believe it. Even this morning, and it just, why I'm saying how He would just lead you to confirmations, lead you to answers. Like, this is why I just love reading, because the more I read his word, it just be confirmation. It just be reminders like that. Wow, you really have dropped this wisdom on me. This ain't nothing from me. God has given me this. And the experiences that He have allowed me to go through in life, it was a reason for them. It was a reason for every job I've been at. Every job. Like, this is why you have to appreciate the good and the bad of your life, because it is there. It is not happening by coincidence. It is to prepare you for something greater. It is to prepare you for your life purpose. But if you really knew your true life purpose, some of y'all are scared of y'all real life purpose because you've been silenced and you're scared to speak up about certain things. You're scared about backlash. You're scared about not fitting in. You can't have that fear. It's holding you back from greatness. But I just be like, Wow. Wow. So what I be saying, really, it just be like he just confirms. Wow. Wow. Just gorgeous. He is so amazing. So amazing. I'm so grateful to, I'm honored to have been welcomed in the kingdom of heaven. I'm honored and I'm grateful that he has always been with me, even when I did not know. Even when I was out in the world, he was still watching. You know, it's just amazing. But it took for certain things. That's why I say I don't have no regrets. Sometimes I'll be like, only thing I regret in my life is meeting this second baby daddy. I should have never went to the hotel. I should have never even dealt with him after. I should have just left him that time I tried to, and then he started crying. Should have left him then. But my little soft heart, I'm like, I don't want to hurt your feeling. You crying. Never had nobody just be crying because I don't want to deal with them no more. Like, I mean, I'd have had dudes question me like, "Oh, what's up with you? Or why you do that?" But not to be literally crying, like. But I do appreciate it because had I not got with him, I probably would have went through something worse again. Had I not stopped at him, something worse may have happened. Or I wouldn't have, I don't know. It would have took longer for me to get here because I would have had to take another L and I would have had to keep taking these L's. And if I wouldn't have learned from that time. So I'm grateful for it because it set me down. That pregnancy saved me. That pregnancy saved me, girl. It saved me. It saved me. And I'm forever grateful for it because that's how I got locked in with the Father. And now we are BFFs and period. So, so just appreciate everything that you go through in life. It's for a reason. It is for a reason, the good, the bad, and the ugly. It is to teach you a lesson. Learn the lesson. Learn the lesson, and you'll be just fine. So, you guys, until the next time, I'll see you in the next video. I know this was like super long. It wasn't supposed to get this long, but it's real. And I'm undefeated. I'm a heavyweight champ. Heavyweight champ. You feel me? So of course it's my job to reach back out and teach everybody else how to become a heavyweight champ in this game called life. Undefeated, baby. We undefeated. And now we have been granted with eternal life, eternal inheritance. And yeah, what greater feeling is it than that? I mean, that's the ultimate end goal is to get granted with eternal life. So I'm blessed. I'm blessed and highly favored. And as long as you keep fighting, baby, keep showing up for him, keep showing up, you already know. You're blessed and highly favored. You was called for a time such as this. So don't sweat the little stuff. Don't sweat the little stuff. We not getting ate up out here. We doing the eating. We doing the eating around here. Okay? So I'll see you guys in the next video. I hope y'all got something out of this video. Sorry if I was talking too much. But I'll see y'all in the next video. Deuces.